I am so excited to share these 4 tips on how to talk about sex because I guarantee you I've messed up on every single one of them. And as we go through these, I want you to evaluate yourself and say, do I do that? Have we done that? No wonder it's causing problems. Yeah, I'm really excited. I just wrote and published my newest course in the Tuttle Healing Center called The Healing Plan for Sexual Intimacy. This is a 3-week course that will take you from either 0 to flat to I hate sex. It can go anywhere from this sort of I have to do it, I'll just get it over with, to it being sort of a mechanical to, well, it's okay, you kind of have this pool of variables to this easy and pleasurable, out in the world of the whole magazine world of hot sex tips. It's all about, having hot, crazy sex. And honestly, I am really excited to be able to get you to a place of easy and pleasurable, nurturing, renewing, adding to the bigger expression of the relationship, not just it being this thing that has to happen within a relationship. And so we're going to talk about 4 helpful tips when talking about sexual intimacy in general. First one, think about this. I'm like, duh. Timing is everything. Hello. Timing is everything, meaning it might seem more natural to talk about sex just before or after you've had it, but that is actually the worst time. Conversations switch us into our left brain from our right brain and our body experience. So don't talk about the experience you've just had or you're going to have, because all of a sudden you're in left brain mode and you're not even feeling your body. It totally shifts gears. So when do you talk about it? You set up a time. You create sex talking time. Do it. And I'm going to get you to a place with the 3-week healing plan that you're going to be able to create this easily. Your partner doesn't even need to be in on this healing plan. That's the beauty of it. You're going to shift this whole thing for the 2 of you. And it's quite profound what's going to happen for you. Women need this. It's so timely. So set up a time. Honey, I want to talk about our sexual experience. And I've got some great tips for what to talk about then in the course, the 3-week course. So you can share yourselves and you can create more of what you want instead of being stuck in this Groundhog Day of what you don't want. So, number 2, second tip. Take responsibility for your own pleasure. Too often we think it's the role of our partner to be in charge of pleasuring us and to know what that looks like. So to become more comfortable and familiar with what sexual pleasure is for you, focus on your own pleasure rather than your partner's pleasure. And then as you educate yourselves, during those talking times, you can share those preferences that you have. You'll feel resentful if you're putting that on your partner. And it's up to them to figure out what supports your pleasure with sexual intimacy. You'll feel resentful. Well, what does resentment create? A block. It shuts your body down. Certainly those sexual energies stop flowing. So you want to remove any kind of pressure on your partner. And that removes any performance anxiety on them as well, to let them know, you're not in charge of this. I want to educate you to support me, but this is my responsibility. Let's each take responsibility for our own pleasure. Our own pleasure. How you doing at that one? Okay, I've asked you, there's 2 so far we've looked at. Timing is everything, and responsibility for your own pleasure. Responsibility, women, for your own orgasm, for your own bodily function, for your own knowing how your body works. This is your job. I'm going to help you get there in our 3-week healing plan, that it feels very familiar. It's going to be like, it's as if you were raised by the most amazing parents that taught you about your sexual energy. Your sexual intimacy, your expressive sexual self is going to be as if you came from the most wonderful, healthy environment, owning every piece and part of your body, because you're going to give that to yourself in 3 weeks. That can happen in 3 weeks. Number 3, be clear and explain. Your partner is not a mind reader. If you don't feel like sex because your breath smells, or you've just been to the toilet and you feel dirty, tell them that. Otherwise, they won't understand what they are being, that they'll feel pushed away and rejected. You don't want to create personal rejection as part of your sexual intimacy experience. You do not want to weave in the whole, I'm emotionally being rejected right now. You want to remove that. You want to keep this clean, this space to be about sexual pleasure, about sharing of each other from your own ownership, and be clear and explain. It's as simple as just saying, thanks for asking, not right now. You don't always even have to have an explanation. It just might not feel correct, and that's okay. But when you make it about personal acceptance and emotional, you weave in, and that's all going to get cleaned up in the 3-week healing plan. So many people, especially men, unfortunately, have woven getting their emotional needs met through the sexual experience. And we want to separate that. Makes your sexual intimacy so much easier and so much more fulfilling. Number 4, be positive, not critical. After a sexual experience with your partner, no matter how you feel it went, always say something positive. Something your partner has done that you like, as this will create more of what you want. And it's honoring. It's honoring of both of you. And teach this and invite that to say, let's each share something positive about the experience we just had together. Let's be positive about it. Those are your 4 tips. How are you doing with those? Share in a comment. Which one are you going to work on? Don't try and implement all 4. Pick one. Share in a comment. Which one are you going to work with? Go to caroltuttle.com/intimacy. That's where we're going to get you enrolled right now in that healing plan. It's coming up. You're going to be so glad. You're going to look back a few weeks from now and go, wow, that is one of the best things I gave myself in 2022. If you saw my video about the energy of 2022, it's a type 2 year. It's a very going within emotionally, going within and healing that emotional aspect of ourselves. So let's separate out our sexual intimacy experience from our emotional self, and let's get super healthy with it, ladies. caroltuttle.com/intimacy. Who's joining me? You're going to be so glad you did.